Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of the SpitTalk podcast. My name is Louie,
My name is Aaron.
and on today's episode, we're just gonna shoot the shit about Dave Filoni and Star Wars in general, I guess.
Woo!
Lucasfilm,
Dave Filoni.
the god Dave Filoni.
I want to call him the savior, not the god.
Okay, the savior of Lucasfilm, I guess. According to Aaron over here, I'll call him. Well, you called him the Padawan of George Lucas himself. And now,
And I stand by that.
you stand by. I mean, yeah, I think he did though, because like I remember Clone Wars where he did. I think he was under his guise, wasn't he?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, so
I remember watching a video about that,
yeah,
and I never watched Clone Wars, the animated series, but the BTS behind it was pretty interesting of how it came to be. And I think that's where he first started, Dave Filoni, of him doing the Clone Wars or animated Clone Wars. Then it branched out to what you watched, Rebels, and we got the Mandalorian, and he's just doing the Bad Batch right now. But just watching his that video, you can really see how he's learning from George Lucas. Like I remember him saying that every character should have meaning or purpose or something along those lines, where um he needs to like really think of the story and the bigger picture. And I was like, wow, this is pretty cool how he's really learning from the guy who created Star Wars, and it really shows. And the videos and the how would you say the shows already are proof to what he's created,
yeah.
in my
especially,
opinion. So that's why I call him the Padawan of George Lucas.
No, yeah, especially now that he's a big part of Mandalorian. Like it really, he's
Yeah.
just getting better and better at like what he does. Like, and now he's apparently he had this job for a while. It's just that they never put it out in
Mm.
public or announced it. But he's named the executive creative director at Lucasfilm now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know where that puts him with relation to like Kathleen Kennedy or whoever. But like yeah, it's just really exciting to have someone like him be in charge and have some say in this thing. It's almost like he's the Kevin Feige. I'm hoping of like the
Yeah, I was
Lucasfilm.
just gonna say that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he has this way of, because he really understands the characters and like what he like the story that he wants to tell. Yeah, it really does delve really deep into like the bigger picture of things. And
Mm-hmm.
that was always the best thing about like George Lucas. Like his execution might not be the best when like he's just like getting free reins over everything, but his ideas are always great. Like they're always there. And I feel like Dave Filoni learning from him, and it really shows. Like, and like him also learning from like Jon Favreau with directing. Like the recent episode that he did for The Mandalorian, that was really good directing, and he really improved from like the first episode of
Mhm.
Mandalorian. And you could really tell that he's learning a lot, and I'm really excited about him being on like, almost a Kevin Feige, like I said.
Yeah. And I liked how for some reason he's able to like uh make the characters from the movie have more meaning in the shows for some reason.
Yeah.
Cuz I know in Rebels he brought back Darth Maul, and he was in Clone Wars, and that was like a character everyone wanted to see. I like Darth Maul,
Yeah,
and it was so sad to like, see him get cut off
Just
in episode 1 and we never see him again.
just Maul now.
So it was cool. Yeah, it was. Or yeah, sorry, Maul. But it's cool how he brought him back. That was like pretty interesting, and he gave a lot of characters a lot of meaning. Like Ahsoka. Ahsoka was super big. I've watched a couple episodes of Clone Wars. I'm like in season 2, so I'm still in the early phase. But I like how he puts a lot of meaning in the clones too. And
Yeah.
like especially like Captain Rex and Commander Cody, it's so crazy. And I think you get the same feeling with Ezra, or Ezra's uh what's his name? The other guy that like leads him.
It's all like
his master,
Kanan Jarrus.
Kanan. Yeah,
Yeah,
Kanan. Yeah.
yeah, he's a good character. The thing I like about him a lot is like he because the prequels, right? It wasn't like, I guess like it has its fans, but it wasn't like well loved to some fans. Like they
Mm-hmm.
prefer the style of the originals and the characters of the originals. The thing that he did with the Clone Wars and what he did with the story alone of Anakin, and how he kind of expanded
Mm-hmm.
on like him being the greatest pilot and being a great Jedi Knight
Oh
and everything.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it really adds to that layer, and it makes the movies itself better. And it's crazy. Like when you
Mm.
watch Clone Wars and then watch Revenge of the Sith, like you don't even watch like Attack of the Clones or like Phantom Menace. Just literally watch it that way, dude. It's a pretty good experience.
Yeah, I totally agree. I all do you remember watching the BTS of The Mandalorian, or like the directors roundtable or something? It relates to what you were saying of how the characters and stuff, how that one scene in episode 1, and it really got me,
Yeah,
of how the last match, the where Darth Maul challenges Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn,
yeah.
and that's basically the path he has to take of Anakin's life. It's either him leading the darks, or like something along the lines like this is the choice he'll make if Qui-Gon Jinn wins. He'll be like in the right path, but if he dies, he loses it. That's why the song is called Battle of Fates, right?
Mm-hmm.
The score,
Mm-hmm.
or Duel of
Duel of the
Fates.
Fates.
So
Yeah,
I was like, whoa. Yeah, I was like, I've never thought of it like that. This guy really loves or not really loves episode 1, but like he really put meaning into that scene, and I never thought of it like that.
wait. This is
Episode 1,
the last fight.
that scene.
The last fight with him and Maul, right?
Yeah, the one between,
Obi-Wan and Maul.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah, yeah.
Obi-Wan's just watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, "Whoa, this is freaking crazy how he put that much meaning and like thought about that."
Yeah, it's not even just that. It's even like his style. I remember they were talking about it, like his you could see him literally transform with his style. Like he did like the 2-point finger thing that Obi-Wan does.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then he
yeah.
like transitions into like 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 Alec Guinness.
The Qui-Gon Jinn
Yeah.
stance, I think.
And then like he
Yeah.
literally did um it's like he learned from the last time, and that's literally why he beat him in like a second. It's
Mhm.
insane. It's really good.
Yeah, see, so I guess what we're trying to say, listeners, is like Dave Filoni, he really has an impact on the characters. He watched everything. I mean, sorry about that. He watched everything, and he puts more meaning behind them, especially in their shows. And you see their history, their past, as well as their future when you're watching it. Because I know in season 7, um, it was really good. Like the end of Clone Wars, I know my brother said it was really good. Like you can really see the subtle hints, and like Order 66 coming and
Mm-hmm.
all of that. So I can't wait till I get to that part. But yeah, the way he uses the characters is unbelievable. About Dave Filoni, and like if you watch Bad Batch, this is my recommendation for you. You should watch it because it looks the most cinematic out of all his shows right now, other than Mandalorian. Honestly, like animated wise, it's super like cinematic. Like watch the first episode. It's an hour long, but it's really good.
Right. I still need to get on the Bad Batch. I haven't really touched up on. But are you said you're watching Clone Wars also?
Yeah, so I'm like on season 2, but it's like I haven't been watching it, but summer's coming along, so I'll try and finish
Dude,
it.
are you watching it in like the order of the season, or are you watching it based on like the chronological order that they put out?
Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me this like
Yeah,
a while back. But right now I'm just sticking to the seasons because I know there's like a list out like
dude.
properly watch it. And I
Yeah,
remember bringing that up to my brother. I'm like, there's a right way to watch this because they're all like jumbled up
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah. The
Yeah, I
story,
remember you telling me
it's
that.
weird because it's like parts of like season 3 is like the beginning of the fucking season, but then it jumps back to season 1 and then continues
Mm.
that story. So it's really weird. Like I don't know why it was told like that. I guess because it was like more episodic,
Oh.
but Yeah, if you're gonna watch it, you could just go to starwars.com. It's literally on their website. Like, here's how to watch Clone Wars.
Whoa.
Yeah. And
You think like Dave Filoni like made it that way, or I don't know, just like your personal thought on like why did he do it that way and not make it
I
chronological?
don't know, honestly. I really don't know. I think like he was just thinking in terms of like stories. Like I just want to tell this story in this
Mm,
episode, and then this episode's a different
yeah.
story maybe. So I don't know. It's kind of like it's like maybe he just like went back and like maybe this will work tying into this, but then it's weird because like a lot of it even ties into the movie. Like the movie is literally
Mm,
probably after 6 episodes. I can't remember exactly, but like it's not the first thing you watch, even though it came out first.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I like totally understand about that part. But man, Dave Filoni is so badass. Like I don't know, like he's really good.
We're like bending the knee right now
Um
to Dave Filoni.
Nah, but like other than like Dave Filoni, like did you have like a favorite episode like growing up watching Star Wars?
Like, are you talking about like the movie or
Yeah, they're just in
just
general,
in
like your
general?
favorite Star Wars.
Is it a is it a cop out to say episode 5? Because like just the overall the grander scale of everything after like the first one, maybe.
Mm.
I like episode 3. Like weirdly enough,
Oh yeah, 3 was really
yeah.
good.
Like it's not the best one, obviously, but like I just like that story of Anakin turning to the dark side, even though it kind of felt rushed a little bit, but it kind of just like going back to like the Clone Wars, it kind of makes it better. Like that whole transformation, like him turning into Vader.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it adds a lot to that thing. So like if that's why I'm saying if you go back and you watch it that way, it really adds to the experience of him turning to the dark side. It's crazy.
Uh
Yeah. What
yeah.
about you?
I would say mine would be like I'm a 6 guy. I like episode 6 for some
Mm,
reason. Just because I feel like it's a classic to me. It used to play a lot in my house. And 3 was really good.
yeah.
3 I enjoyed of like what you said of the fights were good, the story was good, the turnaround and all that other stuff. But yeah, it was really good how it was really good just the story of just Anakin turning into Darth Vader and the conclusion of Luke becoming the only Jedi. But yeah, it's funny how like you don't want to say 7, 8, 9
No.
in
Okay,
your
wait. I was actually I was about to ask you like, dude, you like the last movies for those two trilogies? I was gonna say like, do you like the last movie of the sequel trilogy so far?
It's okay. I think if we have to bring it back to Dave Filoni and like if he puts more meaning into those episodes,
Yeah.
because I know Mandalorian takes place after 3 or no, after 6, right?
Yeah, after 6.
Like
Yeah.
between 6 and 7.
Hmm.
So like I guess if he can figure out a way in Mandalorian 2 or something, or like, the Book of Boba, if he can like
Yeah.
figure out a way to bring it in, that's pretty cool because Mandalorian really, if it wasn't the movies, Mandalorian is up there for me for
Honestly,
Star Wars.
yeah. I would say that's probably one of the best things they have going for them right now. Is the Mandalorian. It's the only
Yeah.
thing that's keeping me excited about Star Wars after like episode 9. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was even telling you like, yeah, I don't want to talk about Star Wars anymore after episode 9 just because of the disappointment and everything. And I don't know, I'm one of the weird ones that actually like episode 8. I know a lot of people don't, but I really like what they did with episode
Mm.
8. And I don't know, maybe is it because I'm a Ryan Johnson fan? Like, am I biased or something? But I really liked episode 8. And just episode 9 just like took a dump truck over everything that they did. I don't know, dude. I don't know what happened with
Yeah,
that.
I think if they move along like Star Wars or Lucasfilms in general, and now that you told me Dave Filoni is the executive creative director
Yeah.
or producer or something, right?
Yeah.
If they really like let everything go through him,
Hmm.
for sure they'll lead them to the right path, you know?
I'm hoping. Yeah.
Um because like again, I want to go back to how Mandalorian is between 6 and 7. So I'm hoping to see, we already see Luke. in the last episode. Spoiler alert
Spoiler
for
alert.
those
Yeah.
listening. But I'm just saying, like, imagine if we can see somewhere 789, like an old Mando or something, or like, you know, old Mando, then he sees like a young Rey or whatever. I don't know, something crazy that can lead into 789, and there's like a stronger connection, or you know, just so, because for what it sounds like right now, it makes it seem like he's able to connect both TV shows and movies really good,
Yeah.
Dave Filoni. And if he can do that to 789, it can be redeemed.
I feel
you know?
like he kind of
I don't know.
dude, do you remember that episode where they like they're like breaking into this kind of like base. I almost said Hydra base, but like this base. Do you remember there was a thing in the back of the tank? They almost looked like Snoke. Was that a back to tank? Yeah, like it looked like
Um,
Snoke, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
When you think about it, yeah, that episode, yeah. When they're doing like the cloning process.
yeah. So that's why I was saying like, wait, if that's Snoke, then this has a lot of repercussions for episode 7,
Mm,
and that would be cool. It would be a cool tie-in, but you know,
dang. I think it's just a waiting game.
yeah, time will
Yeah,
tell. Yeah,
exactly. And going off of Mandalorian, I loved how he brought in Mandalore again.
yeah.
And for those watching only Star Wars movies, you
Mm-hmm.
only know Mandalore based on the
Boba,
Clone Wars,
Django.
or yeah, Boba, Django, or the Rebels, right? I'm pretty sure a couple Mandalorians were in
Yeah, there's
Rebels,
I
right?
think there's
So
what's her name? Is it Sabine? I think Sabine. Yeah, Sabine was Mandalorian.
yeah, so I like how they're expanding Mandalore. Like legit, they're the only ones that can compete against the Jedi
Yeah,
in a
it's
sense.
kind of cool the way that they introduced it. And I think because like you know how like in the first couple seasons it was literally about um the Mando and Baby Yoda. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what literally
Yeah,
that's what
season
enticed
one.
everybody. Like even the general audience, people that don't like Star Wars, they got in and they
Mm-hmm.
bought in because of that whole story. And only then they started incorporating more of the lore, like more of Mandalore. Now they're talking about the dark saber, and then they're making
Yeah.
that a story. And dude, it's really cool the way that they're doing it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Cause like I don't know, for some reason I think it's that cowboy feel they're bringing to this show too.
Yeah.
That adds to effect. I was like, dude, I'm hopping on this outer space cowboy thing they're doing with it. And just going to the idea of Mandalore, as for someone that's still trying to get into the Clone Wars
Mhm.
but knows the idea of it, it's like crazy, because I'm more curious now after they released it, and how, you know, it went from animated to live action. That was another thing that brought my attention, because like season 2 brought on a lot of new characters,
Yeah, they
or
did.
that we seen in animated.
Mhm.
So I was like, whoa, what the heck, this is freaking crazy.
Yeah, like what's her face? Katie Sackhoff. She played it and then she
Yeah, she's
voiced
the
it and then played
voice.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So I was like, yeah, so man, I'm hoping we get to see Mandalore for some reason. Dude, did you know that who is the villain in Mandalore? I always forget his name.
You talking
What's his name? The one with the dark saber?
Gus Fring?
Yeah,
I forgot his name.
that, whatever that guy's
Yeah, hold
name.
on. I'm gonna
But
search it
him,
up.
it's crazy.
I forgot his name too.
Okay, while you do that, but there's this that scene when Luke, spoiler again, when Luke comes in to or how would you say, gets Grogu.
Yeah. Grogu. Baby
I haven't
Yoda.
heard that in a while. Grogu. Yeah, Grogu. But yeah, when he's getting Grogu, and there's like, I saw it on Instagram, like you see his face, like he's all shocked and stuff, like he's seen a ghost,
Yeah.
because he's remembering. I don't know, the Instagram post really got me, because it said like he's thinking that he's the only guy that killed Darth Vader, 2 Death Stars, and he's going after him.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, that's pretty scary, and you've never seen Luke Skywalker, so you don't know how he looks. So that's pretty much a ghost or a monster coming at you. And I was like, dang, that's hella crazy. Like, I know I'm not in Star Wars, but just hearing that, as like if I was in the Star Wars world and Jedis don't exist, that sounds freaking scary
Yeah.
to me.
His name is Moff Gideon. I forget. Yeah.
There,
Moff
Moff
Gideon.
Gideon.
Yeah. Well, you know, we keep praising Dave Filoni for dude. I gotta give credit more to Jon Favreau for The Mandalorian,
True.
only because like he's the showrunner for this, and like the fact that he's working with Dave Filoni, it really adds to like tying into everything.
I would say the same thing too. If it wasn't for Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, because Jon Favreau, for some reason, he does for me he does a really good job at bringing back things
Mhm.
or just like really caring about the story as well.
Yeah.
Look, he did Iron Man, so that means something. I he did Elf. Elf is a classic,
Hell yeah,
like
dude.
Christmas classic. That's pretty crazy. And yeah, he did Jungle Book. I never liked Jungle Book, and for some reason, I like Jungle Book, the live action one.
The
So that
live
was pretty
action one.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then then we got Mandalorian, which was another great hit. Like, dude, he's friggin' killing it in Disney right now.
Yeah. If he wasn't a director, I mean, like if he stopped directing and like he's just producing content now, like or like he's just if him and Dave Filoni took over the creative direction together of Lucasfilm,
Yeah.
that's gonna be an insane combo, dude. That would be sick.
Game over.
Game
Game
over, bro.
over.
And I would be super excited about Star Wars again.
Yeah.
It's been so long. I mean, it feels long, but it was only like
Um. I-
2015. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, but I'll pose a question to you.
Yeah.
So we know J.J. Abrams was a big Star Wars fan. Like I
Yeah.
remember, he did Star Trek. I remember you telling me like he did Star Trek because he really wanted to do like a Star Wars film. Um, what are your thoughts if like, the difference between J.J. Abrams and like Dave Filoni? Like, what do you think like their different styles brought to Star Wars, or like or them working together or something? I don't know, like just compare the two.
Right. Well, I don't know, because I guess like we're thinking of like directors versus like a guy that's been overseeing a whole like part of a universe almost, because he literally oversaw the Clone Wars, and that's pretty much a big
Mm.
chunk of like that story. And so like in terms of like JJ, I can't fault him for anything, for a lot of the things that happened in episode 9, only because I felt like
Mm.
a lot of that was reactionary. Because like, dude, I still to this day will defend The Force Awakens and the setup for the trilogy. It's just the ending that didn't land, and I don't know if I don't fault him for that, only because I think it's Lucasfilm a little bit, where they
Mm.
panicked after like people not liking The Last Jedi, even though it was really good to me. Like I really liked what they did with that movie, like taking chances on everybody. And I don't know,
Yeah.
like I felt like maybe if it didn't happen the way that it did, that then we would be having a different conversation about it right now. But yeah, I don't know. What about you? What do you think?
Mm. Yeah, I liked how I never thought of it like that, how Dave Filoni kind of had like a bigger task because he's overseeing more than JJ Abrams. And I only posed that question because I remember when before Force Awakens came out, there was like a lot of clips, or even after Force Awakens came out,
Yeah.
JJ Abrams being the director that he is, and being a fan that
Hmm.
he was so invested. Like he wanted John Williams to score it. He wanted to see all the designs and all that stuff. So like there was
Yeah.
passion behind what he wanted.
Hmm.
So, and I felt like Dave Filoni has that same passion, and I just wanted to see if there was a difference. And what you're bringing to me, like it makes sense that like Lucasfilm was probably doing, like having the final say or something in episode
Yeah.
9. But like I like 7. It did bring like a little nostalgia to episode 4
Hmm.
with Ray's character, and I did leave the movie intrigued, like, oh, what are they gonna do with Ray? Oh, what's gonna
What's
happen to
next?
Kylo? Yeah, what was next? So 7 was a good kickoff for
Hmm.
those 3 parts, in my opinion. So I think J.J. Abrams, for me, did the movie justice, or Star Wars justice. But yeah,
Yeah, for what he did. Have you seen the original episode 9 like rundown of like what was gonna happen?
yeah, the Colin Trevorrow one.
Yeah, dude. Well, for those who don't know, it was gonna be called Duel of the Fates, and it was really gonna tie in a bunch of the stuff that they already planned going forward, like not undoing episode 8 and just adding on to it, like keeping Ray a nobody, which I actually really liked because like no, they don't need to tie everybody in. Like if they're a new character, they don't have to be like related to someone, you know? Like we could just love the character for who
Oh
they
yeah,
are.
yeah.
And I don't know, like it was really refreshing, and everything that they did with like say what you want about like Luke and what they did with like episode 8, but they challenged him, they challenged his like his whole character, and I'm pretty sure like people were saying like it destroyed his character, but I don't know, I felt like it was really in line with Luke. Like he was always like a freaking
Mm,
he was always like what's it called, like
like a what if guy or
no, like
something.
he's always like
He was scared. Yeah.
jumpy and
Oh.
like just doing shit without even thinking sometimes, and I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like when he was about to like kill Kylo or something.
Yeah.
Like at that time when he foresaw it or
Yeah.
something. Um, I guess when you say it that, yeah, that does make sense too because I was gonna expand on that as well. How, I don't know. I like again like the DC one. I enjoy like just watching action in general.
Yeah.
And I didn't really dive deep into it, but I love how Luke was being challenged. Like that was a good thing to bring up because he's literally the start of a new Jedi. He's the old. He had the history of the old Jedi, and he's starting the new Jedi.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of stuff on your shoulders. Like
Mhm.
that's a heavy burden.
Exactly.
And like him isolating himself, that totally makes sense because all that pressure that you're carrying. Yeah. So I totally see that aspect. And you again you were saying that they don't always have to relate characters.
Mhm.
Like Ray, like going back to the Colin Trevorrow thing. Dude, that one, I remember you showing me it and it was reading it. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Like
Dude.
they're really challenging each other's internally or yeah, it's an internal fight between most of the characters and hence the title Duels of Fates. I was like,
Mhm.
whoa, that would have been a crazy episode.
Yeah, and there would have been no emperor cuz I like the fact that Snoke died so that they can focus on Kylo as a villain
Yeah,
because he was
yeah.
literally always the focus. Like literally Snoke was there to serve a purpose, and the purpose was to put over, like in wrestling terms, to put over Kylo. And
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know why people were complaining about that. That was always my thing. Like I always defended that thing about Snoke dying and it like propelling Kylo into the villain that he was gonna be, and the fact that they just undid it was kind of whatever.
Now I was gonna ask. I was like, since we're talking about the future of Kylo, or like we're talking about the past of Star Wars in general, the future looks pretty bright for Star Wars. We know we're getting a Mandalorian 3. Bad Batch is out. And the one that we haven't talked about yet is the Book of Boba. What do you think? What do you think we're gonna get in Book of Boba? He literally just killed Jabba's apprentice or the new Jabba the Hutt or something. I don't know that like his that one's crazy. I was like, what the heck is going on?
I don't know. I honestly I can't like predict what's gonna happen with his show. I just like that they're expanding on him a little bit more because you know
Yeah.
people have this like preconceived notion of like who Boba is based on the prequels and based on like what they saw of him, but really there wasn't that much about him apart from like EU stuff maybe. So I don't know.
Mm.
I'm excited to see what he has, and I really liked that they brought back that actor. I forgot his name, but yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and he was like the perfect age to play it already, and it was really cool to see him
Yeah.
in that role again. Like, dude,
For sure. Yeah, so for some reason I want Boba to take on uh kind of the same feel of like how Darth Maul took over Mandalore in a sense, like
oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
be control of the underground
yeah.
or even we even talk about the Star Wars stories, but anyways, but I liked how Solo, I'll bring back Solo and it showed Darth Maul running the underground.
Yeah.
So I want I guess Boba to be running the underground,
Mhm.
but in his way,
Yeah.
his bounty hunter way, rather than just sitting on a throne and just ordering people. Like he's more of a action person rather than I'll sit here, or he's more of a doer than a talker kind of
Yeah.
thing. So I would love to see him like kind of doing more kind of Mandalore-ish, but more in the gangster way,
Yeah.
if that makes
Pretty
sense.
much. No, that's pretty much what it
That'd
is.
be pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it was. Yes, you brought back Solo. Now that I think about it. Like, dude, that whole story with like what's her name? Daenerys, whatever. And Maul. Like, I was actually
Yeah.
interested in that, but like the fact that I don't think we're gonna get that anymore. Like it continuing because
Mm.
Solo didn't do as good, even
Yeah,
though
for
I liked
sure.
Solo a little bit. I don't know. I
Mm.
was really excited. I was like, because they even brought back Ray, Ray, is it Ray Park, the actor, to play Darth Maul or Maul?
Yeah, to play him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But the
remember.
cool thing is they brought him back, but they also brought back Sam Witwer to voice him, who voiced him in the Clone Wars and
Mm.
Rebels. So it was kind of like a mixture of those two things. And I was excited that we were gonna see that in live action, but I guess it just worked out the way that it did.
Yeah. And going back, I know you really liked the Rogue One. Rogue One was really good.
Yeah, Rogue One was good.
Like if we're going off the yeah, Rogue One was really good. I liked how that story, like it wasn't part of the whole episode 1 through 9
Hmm.
thing, but how that one little line from the scroll of episode 4,
Yeah,
they really did a whole story on that. That was pretty cool.
yeah,
Just to add on to the Star Wars lore that we're talking about now, like the other films, the Star Wars, or what were they called? A Star Wars story or
yeah.
something?
Star Wars, like
Like
the spin-offs or whatever. A Star Wars story.
yeah,
Yeah,
something like that. So those were cool. For some reason, I like Solo.
I do like
Some
Solo
people didn't
too.
like Solo. I like Solo.
Yeah,
Like that was I thought the actor did pretty good, and how he did Solo and stuff. And I know they're doing an Obi-Wan because I know
yeah, yeah, yeah.
what's his name? Ian McGregor.
Ewan
Am I
McGregor.
butchering?
Yeah,
Yeah, I know he talked about it. So I'm excited for him to be back as Obi-Wan, and hopefully we get that Darth Maul that you're talking about or
I don't know.
something.
I kind of don't want him to encounter Maul only because of what happened with Rebels already. But I guess we'll see. Yeah, dude, that Obi-Wan thing. I think it's being headed by Deborah Chow. Um, she
Mm,
directed a couple of the Mandalorian episodes, and I remember those were like my favorite episodes. And the
Deborah Chow.
Hayden Christensen is coming back as Vader in that show. So I don't know how
Mm,
it's gonna tie in,
whoa.
but I'm pretty excited for that one
Well,
too.
yeah. Well, I see it playing out where he left off, where episode 3 Obi-Wan left off.
Yeah.
Because last time we see Obi-Wan in yours is Star Wars Rebel,
Mhm.
where he's the old trained one.
Yeah.
So I think they should go somewhere between there,
Mhm.
if that makes
I feel like they
sense.
will.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Then I guess we won't see Maul if it's between those 2 days,
Yeah.
but like or those two time points. But that would be cool if we can see Maul
I feel like
just
they
to have
will.
him in
He's
there.
kind of
Like
like the perfect age now for that.
yeah, it was crazy how they casted them
Hmm.
perfectly. Like I remember when I was a little kid and episode uh 6 came out and I was like, man, I wish they did like an older version. Like what if they were older and see what happened, and look what happened. We got 7, 8, 9 because of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I like that aspect, how it played off of my childhood or my watching experience of 1 through 6.
Yeah.
But anything else you want to say before we wrap up
Oh,
about Star Wars?
speaking of like, I guess like since we touched up on Rogue One, yeah, dude, it's the best Vader scene I think probably ever. I don't know, because it's him at the height of his
Yeah, for
power.
sure. Like
Yeah.
cuz like I know 6, 7 and 8 they were, or sorry, 6, 7, 8, what am I saying? 4, 5 and 6
Yeah.
he was a pretty like old man in a sense.
Hmm. And this was him in his
And I think
prime. Like, dude.
yeah, exactly. So I was like, dude, that's crazy.
Hmm.
So it'll be cool because the way how you're saying the Obi-Wan series is bringing back uh Hayden Christensen. Sorry, I'm bad with names, but I like how they're bringing back all these characters because now we'll see them in their prime, or at least Darth Vader in their prime,
Mhm.
and Obi-Wan becoming very Yoda-like, becoming more master-like in the sense.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool to see. So hopefully we see one of the, because I know the video games they kind of expanded on too, and like comic books, how Darth Vader had to eliminate those other Jedis that didn't get killed in Order
Yeah.
66. So hopefully we can see that as well.
Mhm.
You know, like him like going on his own journey and doing the dirty deed of killing
All
all those
yeah.
other Jedis.
I don't know. For me, I kind of don't want them to meet though. Like, I mean, if they show it, like, I'm gonna compare it to Better Call Saul. It's a Breaking Bad spinoff, right? But like, they have like two separate stories that they're telling. They're telling the main character's story, and they're telling the other side of the story where it plays into the overall world of that world that of Breaking Bad. So if they
Yeah.
do it in a way where they kind of tie it in here, where they're telling Obi-Wan's story, but then they're kind of like sprinkling in Vader and like it tying into the overall world and it tying into like episode 4, then I could get on that because I don't want them to meet. I just don't want them to meet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
I
doesn't seem right.
think it's when you say it, yeah, when you say it like that, it's kind of like how I want Darth Maul to be in the Obi-Wan, and I don't think it's gonna happen just because I'm going off the time point again. So
Yeah.
we see Darth Vader doing his own thing, like creating the Death Star, and in Episode 4, I feel like they finally met on that Death Star, or
The,
so. I feel
yeah.
like it's gonna try and go that way, where they're doing their own separate thing, and then it'll lead into Episode 4, or yeah. But yeah, anything else you want to say about Star Wars?
Just don't call him Obi-Wan. Only because that's a
Call him
name
Ben.
I haven't heard in a
Ben.
long time. I don't know. I just don't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That totally makes
that makes
sense because of
see,
that line.
yeah.
Yeah, so he'll probably just be called Ben.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, we talked about a lot. With that said, thank you for listening to Spit Talk Podcast. Catch us on our next episode. Follow us on Twitter at Spit Talks Podcast for any updates. Once again, we are Aaron and Jan. See you guys. Bye.
Bye.